Today, I'm going to be talking about how to close your first deal in 4 weeks with zero marketing budget. Let me say that one more time because it's so crucial. I'm going to show you how to close your first real estate investment deal in 4 weeks with zero marketing budget. So make sure you pull out your pens and start writing this down. Okay. Now, real estate is very, very complex. What I have done is made it very, very simple, what I call my three stepping stones. And I'm going to break it down. Stepping stone number one is called lead generation. So I'm going to tell you exactly 7 things to do to generate leads for free for you in a few seconds. Stepping stone number two is what I call conversion. I've also listed 6 action plans for you to do to be able to convert these leads into a deal for you. And the last step is your exit strategy. Okay. And I'm also going to give you 3 major points to help you exit. Now, what I'm going to show you is to find properties that are off market. The strategy that I'm showing you is to buy homes direct from homeowners. It's not the strategy of where you buy at the auction. It's not the strategy of where you look on the MLS. It's not the strategy of REOs, because what I'm talking about is finding a deal before it even hits the market, off market properties. Now, why is a benefit to buy properties off market? Well, you can get deals without a lot of competition. 2, you can get deals at a deep, deep discount. 3, you can get deals where the sellers are willing to become your own private bank. Therefore, you don't have to get a loan from a bank or hard money lending or put it on your credit card or syndicate money, because the motivated sellers are going to finance the deals for you. So let's roll up our sleeve and get started right now. How to get your first deal in 4 weeks with zero marketing. Stepping stone number one, lead generation. The very first thing you got to do is you got to create an Excel sheet. I like using Google Docs to keep track of all your leads. And this is very, very, very important before we get into some free ways to generate leads for you. Because whenever you generate leads, if you don't have a place to put them, then you're not going to be able to follow up with them. You're not going to be able to do your statistics and so on and so on. So step number one is to go and create a Google Excel sheet or use your own Excel sheet at home. Real quick, download my free book, Real Estate Investing for Beginners, the ultimate starter guide at myrealestatedojo.com, where I teach you how to find motivated sellers, buy their homes at a deep discount, and then have the seller become your own private bank. Subject 2, get it now. One more thing, if you're looking for private one-on-one help when it comes to real estate investing, then consider joining my academy, where you sit down with me one-on-one. 2, you get monthly coaching. 3, you get access to my best-selling courses. 4, you get access to my video library, and then the list goes on, for just $97 a month. Join me now at mrnofluff.com. Lastly, the best 6-figure side hustle, bicycle flipping. Want to see how? Here's a behind-the-scene video how I did it. Go to thebestsidehustle.mrnofluff.com. Now let's get back to the content. And you want to just create 6 tabs at the very minimum. Tab number 1 is their name. Tab number 2 is their address. Tab number 3 is their cell phone number. You don't want a landline, you want their cell phone number, and I'll talk about it a little bit later why you want that. Tab number 4 is their email. Tab number 5 is why are they looking to sell? What is their motivation? Because that's very, very crucial. And the last tab is, which is number 6, is how did they heard about you? Because you want to be able to track, okay, where did you get these leads from and where did they convert, so you can put more time into it in that marketing versus another marketing that didn't generate you any money, okay? So first stepping stone is lead gen, and the very first thing you got to do in there is create a Excel sheet. Now, there's a lot of gurus that tell you got to go pay for a CMR or all these fancy software. The reason is they're getting kickbacks from affiliate links by promoting that. But really, you don't need any of that. All you need is a simple Excel sheet. I like to use Google Docs because it's free. You could remotely access it if you're at home, if you're at the office, if you're in the car, it doesn't matter. And it's a cloud based, but you can use whatever you want. Okay. Now that we have that Excel sheet, now let's talk about 6 ways to generate free leads, totally for free. Okay. Number one is to post what I call your seller ads. If you don't have them, leave a comment. I'll give you mine. Okay. Leave a comment. I'll give you mine. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, doesn't matter. Leave a comment and I'll give you my seller ads. You take these seller ads and you post them onto Craigslist. You list them onto 5 Miles. You list them onto OfferUp. You list them onto Facebook Marketplace. And that's what I call your passive marketing, where you're just posting and you're waiting for the sellers to come out and reach out to you. Okay. And what do you say in these ads? Well, I'm going to give you mine so you don't have to write about it or think about it. But basically, we're targeting different types of motivated sellers, because I don't just do a blanket ad that says we buy houses because it's too general. For example, my ads are specifically targeted for one type of audience in the distressed seller. For example, divorces or behind in payments, and so on. Okay, so I do specific ads for specific types of audiences. Divorces, the titles say divorce. If they're behind on payments, it says behind on payments. So I'm targeting that and I'm putting onto the platforms that I just shared with you, like Craigslist, 5 Miles, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and I'm waiting for the sellers to reach out to me. So that's passive, okay? Now I'm going to talk about some proactive stuff that you can do to generate leads for you with zero money and get a deal in 4 weeks, guys, okay? Next thing you can do is you can send SMS, okay, text messaging to websites like Fizbo's, for sale by owners. Okay, there's tons of them out there like Zillow, Trillia, and I also would send out text messages to ads on 5 Miles, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. You could just message them instantly right into these platforms. Okay, if you don't have that text message or you don't know what to say, I'll give you my internet connection. Sorry about that. So if you don't have the text messages, what I was saying is leave a comment below if you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, and I'll give you mine. I'll give you a link where you can download my text messages. And all I would do is I would just get on the Fizbo's, I would get on the Craigslist, the Zillows, the Trillias, and just send them this text message. Again, the text message is not general that says, hey, we buy houses, because that really doesn't work, okay? The text messages are tailored to specific motivated sellers in the market, like lost your job, behind on payments, are you divorced, and they're tailor made and they're street proven, tested. So those are my ads I'm going to give to you totally for free. Just click the like button, leave a comment, and I will go ahead and give that to you. Okay. Now, text messages really work, guys. The opening rate on that is 95 to 97% of people will open it. It's totally free. You can use your cell phone like this and just start text messaging them, whatever, you know, to just get the ball rolling to do your very first deal. Now, you can use other platforms when you make money to do it, but today's lesson is about how to generate leads for free, okay? Now, let's move forward to the next thing to generate leads for free. Get on the phone. Simple. You get on the phone. You get on the phone and you get on, again, the Fizbo websites like Zillow, Fizbo.com, so on. As many as you can find, okay? And here you're going to have to cold call, okay? So we have what's called proactive and we have passive. We already done the passive where we're waiting for the sellers to call us, but now we have to do the proactive to go get them. Because if you don't have any money, right, then you got to put the time in. Right? Now, if you have the money, then you can create systems like my Alchemy Stones that does all the work for you, but you got to have some money to implement, okay? So today's lesson is about no money. So you're going to have to do sweat equity. So you're going to get on the phones and you're going to go ahead and get on Craigslist, get on online classifieds, on the Facebooks, on OfferUps, on, Fizbo.com, Zillow, and you're going to contact these sellers, not the agents, the sellers, because we're buying home from homeowners direct. We're not dealing with middleman. We're not dealing with agents. We're not dealing with that, okay? Because we're looking for off-market property so we can buy it at a deep discount, right? or we're looking for property where the sellers are going to become our private bank, so we don't have to come up with all the cash, all the credit. They're going to owner finance the deal for us. Okay, so now you got your ads out. People are looking at your ads and calling you in. You're text messaging people, right? You're calling people, right? Now, the other thing you can do is what I call fit for dollars. Okay, what that means is, this is a great time if you have a family to get your family, get your kids, get your wife, you're in a relationship with someone, is to go and be physically fit and run around or walk around or ride your bicycle around your neighborhood with your family and looking at property that looks distressed. Okay, you're looking for sell by home owners. You're looking for areas that the grasses are real long. You're looking for areas that doesn't have love to the property. You're looking at areas that have a lot of flyers on their doors, etc. Okay, and you're writing that information down and you're putting it into your Excel sheet. Okay, you're putting it into your Excel sheet as we talked about. So fit for dollars. You run around, you ride your bicycle, you walk, you do your skateboard, whatever you like to do with your family or by yourself in your local area. It's not going to be that much, maybe like 2 or 3 miles. You'll be able to, depends on your fitness level. Okay, and you put that stuff into your Excel sheet, and I'll get into it a little bit. Now, the other thing you can do, which is point number 5, is you can, not that you can, if you want to get a deal in 4 weeks, you got to implement everything I just said and do it, right? You got to do it. You got to take action. It's to drive for dollars. Okay, drive for dollars. That's exactly the same thing as fit for dollars, but the fit for dollars you're actually using, right? Versus driving, you're just sitting there and sitting on your butt, right? Where, but the idea is the same. You're driving in your area, okay, for FISBOs, for houses that look like there may be motivated sellers there, and all these things that I just mentioned are totally for free. Okay, but you got to implement them. This is called your marketing plan. Right now, I've given you 5 things to do to generate leads for you. Okay, which is SMS, which is phone call, which is fit for dollar, drive for dollar. Okay, now, people always ask me, Mike, when I'm driving, where should I drive? Should I use this complex software to get all this data? What should I do? No, dude, stay in your lane. Stay in your area that you live. That should be your farm area. You should start there because you know the area. You know exactly where to go, where not to go, where the dead ends are. Why are you going to drive to some area you don't know and spend a lot of time trying to research stuff? And I know guys tell you that because they're trying to, sell other people's affiliate link software, right? But the way I do it is I just start my own area, my own neighborhood. I'm running fitting for dollars, and I'm driving the area because I know the area. I have a better understanding of the market there versus someplace I've never been. It's going to cost a lot of time and energy to figure that part out. So if you want to get a deal in 4 weeks with zero market dollar, stay in your lane, stay in your hood that you already know, because more than likely you know that area better than any other area you've never been to, okay? Or across town. All right. So now let's talk about the lead generation, the 6th step of generating leads for free, which is basically post your ads on Facebook classified groups. So you go to Facebook groups, for example, if you're living in Houston, there's a lot of Facebook groups that are for classified, like, hey, I sell my car, I sell my ATV, or I'm selling my mattress, or I'm selling whatever. And you want to go ahead and post that your seller ads that says, look, behind on payments or going to a divorce in those classified ads. And again, it's totally for free. This is Facebook groups classifieds, all right? Every city, every town has them, all right? There's a bunch of them. And different areas, because a lot of sellers that are motivated, they're liquidating their stuff on these platforms. They're selling their beds, or they're moving, maybe they're behind on payments, they can't take their stuff, they're liquidating, and they're going to see your ad and they're going to now reach out to you versus you chasing them. So now I've given you 6 free ways to generate leads. It will require sweat equity, but majority of them are behind a computer. One of them you have to do a little driving, all right? And before you do that, make sure you create your seller database in Google Excel sheet. That's what I prefer, or your Windows or Apple, whatever you got. Okay. Now that takes care of the lead generation part. Now, Remember, there's 3 stepping stones. So lead gen is number 1. Number 2 is conversion. All right. Now, what do you need to do with a conversion? Well, in the week 1, you did a lot of lead generation. In the week 2, you're more than likely going to have sellers to call you, or by you calling out, you're going to have sellers that you found that are motivated. They're divorced, they're behind in their payments, they lost their jobs, so on and so on. Okay. So the very first thing you got to do in the lead conversion is to filter, filter, filter. Just like you're not going to drink some dirty water back there, you don't want to go and drive to everyone's house and their mama, because there's going to be a lot of sellers in today's market. We have over 41 million people unemployed in America, right? So you're going to have a lot of sellers, but not everyone's motivated. So you're not going to just drink any water. You're not just going to go to everyone's house because your time is limited, okay? That's why I don't like people driving really far away when they're first doing their very first deal, because it takes so much time to go everywhere. So the very first thing you got to do is you got to filter, filter, filter. Okay. Now, how do you filter? The way I filter is by having my Ninja phone script, which you can download on my website at mrnofluff.com. Okay. Um, I ask them a series of questions. And simply put, why am I asking them questions? Because I'm probing. I'm trying to gather information. In my business of buying property off market, it's all about finding motivated sellers. So I got 10 sellers calling me. How do I know they're motivated? Well, I got to ask questions. Okay. I got to ask the same questions of everyone. For example, one of the most important questions that I ask is, the seller calls me and I say, hey, Julie, this is a beautiful home. Why do you want to sell? What is your situation? Right. And that's one of the most important questions. There's many other important questions in my Ninja phone script, but that's one of the major ones that you want to ask, because if the seller says, look, I'm just testing the waters, well, I'm not wasting a whole lot of time with that seller. I'm going to put them into my Excel sheet. That's why it's so important. I'm going to do follow up, but I'm not going to drive to that seller's home. But if I ask the seller, hey, Julie, that's a beautiful home. Why do you want to sell? What's your situation? And she says, like, hey, I'm divorced, or I lost my job in the virus situation. I've been laid off. Then I know this is a highly motivated seller. Okay. So in the conversion phase, the very first thing you got to do is you got to filter. You don't want to run out to every seller's home because you'll get burned out, right? And it's going to require a lot of time and resources to run to everyone's house. So the very first thing is filter. Again, if you need to know how to filter, download my Ninja phone script at mrnofluff.com. We also show you how to talk to sellers. There's a live cold calling. We give you the PDF. There's video training on how to do all that. Okay. Now, the next thing in the conversion is that you got to give offers. Now, this is where most students fail, because they'll do step number 1, which is lead gen. They'll have some sellers and they say, oh, Mike, this seller is motivated. Oh, Mike, this seller is motivated. Or she's motivated. He's motivated. And then they don't never give the offer. Okay. An offer doesn't have to be a legal contract. Okay. And I'm not giving financial legal advice, but the way I do it is that my first offer is not a contract, because a contract will make the seller run away, because most people hate contracts, right? So my first offer is what I call my terminator offer letter. Okay. You can download that at mrnofluff.com. Basically just tells them that I want to buy their home and I have multiple offers for them. And I'll let the seller decide which one he or she wants to go with. So part of conversion is step number 2 is to give offers. And in your offer letter, you should have 2 types of offers, right? You should have your cash offer, which is to buy their home at a deep discount. And you should have your what I call owner financing term offer, where the seller becomes your private bank. Now, 2 things. A lot of people message me, says, Mike, I never get owner financing offers, man. And I tell them, well, how many offers have you given that's owner financing? 0. Well, no wonder you don't get any owner financing offers. Okay. So if you want the seller to be your private bank, you have to give that offer that way, right? You can't just give cash offers. Now, some people say, well, what is the cash offer, right? For me, in a meltdown that we have right now, is 60 cents on a dollar minus repairs. And if I'm going to wholesale it, then I'm going to need my wholesaling fee. If it's $3 grand, $5 grand, I need to subtract all that out and that's my cash offer to the seller. So, for example, if the house is worth 100, I'm giving them 60 cents on the dollar, which is 60,000. Maybe the repairs is 10,000. Now we're at 50,000, and I'm gonna make $3,000, or I'm gonna make $5,000. I'm gonna make 10 grand. Then I'll subtract that, and then my best offer I can give to the seller is 40 grand. Depends what my assignment fee was. If it's 10 grand, it'll be 40 grand. If it's 3,000, then out of the 50, I'm going to subtract 3,000. I'm going to say, look, sir, I can only give you the max 47. Now, that max offer is not what I first give them. I actually give them an offer lower than my max offer, and then I work it up to my max offer, which is 47 or 40, depends on what the assignment fee is. Now, if my strategy is I'm a buy and hold guy, well, then I don't have to subtract that. Okay, if my strategy is fix and flip, then I don't have to subtract that. Okay, so it all depends on what you want to do. All right, now the other thing I want to talk about is that if you don't give offers, you ain't gonna get no deals. It's just, what is an offer? An offer just simply says, hey, Mr. Seller, simple, I want to buy your home, and I'm willing to give you cash, or I'm willing to give you OPM, or subject to, or creative financing offer, right? That's it. You're just giving offers. And if you don't do that, you're never going to get deals. Let me say that, okay? If you don't give offers, you don't going to get deals. It doesn't have to be a formal contract offer, because remember, we're not dealing with auctions. We're not dealing with trustees. We're not dealing with agents. And that's why I love buying off-market property. That's why I like to catch the sellers before it goes to the foreclosure, before the real estate agent gets it, okay? And that's the strategies that I use. So got to get that offer in writing. Don't just verbalize it. It must be in writing. I mean, I don't know how many pro investors that I meet that they never give offers in writing. They're just like, hey, I'll buy your house for this, and that's it, okay? So make sure you give them in writing. If you need the terminator offer letter, what I give to sellers, you can get at mrnoflip.com, okay? Now, the next step in the conversion step is to only send out letters or postcards if you have money. You don't need a lot of money. You probably need like 20 bucks, right? Because you're not sending out letters to everyone and their mama. You're not trying to generate leads by sending out letters. No, no, no. You're doing the follow up through the letter, to the letter or postcard. Okay. So then you would only send out letters if you have the money. If you don't have the money, don't worry about this step. But if you have 20 bucks, then you will send out maybe 10 letters or 15 letters. Depends how many you have in your Excel sheet, your seller database that you have created in the lead generation. You'll send out letters to the most motivated ones. How do you know they're motivated? Well, you asked them the Ninja phone script. You did the filtering in the conversion step number one. Okay. You will send out the letters only to those people. Okay. What does the letter say? Hey, I want to buy your house, or are you behind in payment? Depends what the seller's motivation is. I do target messaging for that pool of audience. If they're going through a divorce, then I have letters that go out that talks about being divorced. If they're behind on payments, then I have letters that talks about that. If they lost their jobs, then I have letters. If you don't have a letter, download my postcard machine at mrnofluff.com. We have professionally written letters for you that actually work. We tested them out. They work. I use them. My students use them. You can get them right now at mrnofluff.com, guys. Okay. Or you can do it yourself. Okay. But if you don't get a response, maybe the copyright is not good. Remember that. Okay. Now, let's move forward. So at this time, you've done your lead generation. People are calling in. Now you're working on your conversion. Okay, you're filtering out. You're giving offers, right? And now is the time that I would, if I was new and I haven't done a deal, this is the time that now I would go and interview attorneys that specialize in real estate, not just some general guy, or I would go and interview title companies over the phone or via email. I wouldn't drive there, right? Interview them and see if they can do my closing, because, as a beginner, I'm going to need a professional to help me close this deal, because it's too much information to learn to do it yourself. Now, I've closed deals myself, but I prefer to have an attorney and then a title company. Depends on how much equity is in the deal, okay? But if you're new, you got to start now interviewing title companies or an attorney to close a deal for you, because you got leads coming in from week one. Week two is conversion, right? Conversion. And so you got these sellers, you're giving offers. Someone will say, yeah, I want to do it. Someone will say, hey, I'm thinking about it. Someone will say, I'll get back with you, right? So now you want to go ahead and interview attorneys or title companies that will do it, because not every attorney is going to understand how to do a subject to deal. They're not going to understand how to do a equity maximizer. They're not going to understand how to do a double closing or single closing, etc. Same thing with title companies. Not every title company is investor friendly. So this is the time to do that. Now, many other people, courses will tell you do this stuff in the very beginning. Well, that's because they're trying to sell you courses. If you want to do a freaking deal, this is the way. Because what I'm showing you is lead gen is the most important part. If you haven't generated any leads, you don't have to worry about conversion. You don't have to worry about title companies because you don't got no leads. You're not going to have any prospects, okay? So now we're done with the conversion part, and now we're going to get into the exit strategy, okay? Now, the exit strategy is very, very important, and this is something that I look at before I even start the game. And this is something that you might want to look at. Why is the exit strategy so important? Why should you have the ending before you start? Well, you want to know that, for example, for me, I'm doing this action to buy a house to buy and hold. For someone else, they may not have any money and they're looking to do this deal to quickly build cash, right? They might want to do a wholesaler. For someone else, they might be a fix and flipper and they're tired of paying all this wholesaling fee, 10 grand, 20 grand. Other people are taking the meat off the bone. And they're like, you know what? I can find these off market properties myself. Why should I pay someone 20 grand or 25 grand or 5 grand or whatever the story is? I'll just find it myself, right? So it all depends on your exit strategy. But simply put, the story's the same in general, the foundation. So exit strategy number one is at this time, you want to go and add yourself to 20 to 30 Facebook real estate investment groups. So again, this is not the same thing as Facebook classifies in step number one, because step number one is about finding classified ads in Facebook in your local area that has nothing to do with real estate. People selling their cars, their boats, their furniture, whatever. This one, you're in your exit strategy, you're going onto Facebook groups and you're searching for real estate investing groups, and you're adding yourself to those groups, 20 to 30. You want to have at least 10 to 15 in your local area and the remaining outside the area, like California, because there's a lot of cash buyers in other states besides your local area. For example, if you're in California, then if you're in Texas, you want to have some people in California. If you're in Colorado, you want to have some people, etc., in California and other areas. So I would add 20 to 30 Facebook groups. They're totally for free into my Facebook account. The next thing I would do in my exit strategy is that I would now go to my local REI club, right? Because it doesn't matter if you're in California, you're in Texas, you're in Denver, you're in whatever, wherever you are, there's always a local real estate club that meets on a monthly or weekly basis. Once I am getting the deals, once I'm already in action, I've already done the lead, I'm in the process of a conversion, then I will do this step. Many other people will tell you to do this step that I'm telling you in conversion, step number 3, in the beginning, because those are just simple, busy work. So you feel like you're doing something, but it's not going to get you an end product. It's not going to get you the cookie. It's not going to get you a harvest. Those are just busy work. So I don't tell my students to do any of that stuff till they are actually have a deal locked up, or the deals are in the oven baking for them because they're given the offers. People are thinking about it. At that time, then they will go to real estate clubs to build their cash buyers list, which brings me to point number 3. In your exit strategy, at this time, I told my students to build cash buyers list, which is totally different than everyone else. Everyone else tells you to go ahead and waste all the other investors' time. Say, look, dude, you want to get on my buyers list? You want to get your email? Let me get your what kind of properties you're looking for. And majority of these people are duds. They'll never even take any freaking action, right? That's why I say don't do that, okay? Be the person that reaches out to an investor and says, look, I like to put you on my buyer's list. Plus, I got this freaking deal, right? Now they're going to listen to you more because you're not being like everyone else is wasting fucking time and says, hey, man, what kind of deals do you want? Hey, man, what is your buying criteria? Hey, can I get your email? Hey, wasting time and never fucking finding a lead. The way I show you is the inverse. It's totally opposite. Once you have the deal or you're about to have the deal, they're in the oven baking, then you will go and build your buyers list through the Facebook investor group that I mentioned, by going to your local REI club. And that basically sums it up. If I can just make a simple outline from going from zero to getting a deal in 4 weeks with zero money, guys. Okay. Now, if you're interested in mentorship, I have my Abundance Club that I just launched, guys. Actually, it's been open, but we closed it down. We are reopening right now, and you can join it right now for 7 days for $1. 7 days for $1. After that, if you like to stay in the club, is in the mentorship is $97 a month. You get to meet with me on a weekly basis, 4 meetings a month, and I'll answer every and all your questions there. So for $97 a month, you can join the Abundance Club. We meet every week, an hour long, and I'll answer every of your questions. Plus, I'll bring economic updates and new strategies to make money in your local area. If you're interested, join the Abundance Club. Go to MrNoFluff.com. Join the Abundance Club, the mentorship. You get the first 7 days for $1. If you want to stick longer, it's $97. There's no commitments. You don't have to buy any products, anything like that. We actually help you do deals locally. And if you're interested in working with me direct, right, join the Abundance Club, guys, the Abundance Club. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button. If you want any of these ads, these flyers, the SMN, the text messaging ads that we have, leave a comment and I'll send you the link where you can download it for free. I'll give you a sample of them if you want to download them so you can get started and do your first deal. When you make some money, you can go back and buy the remaining ads for each targeted audience. But I'll give you one of the audiences for free so you can start right now. And guess what? I'll give you behind in payments because there's over 41 million, about to be more, Americans on unemployment. And we're sitting in a situation where we're about to have a meltdown in the stock market for the second time. We're also going to have a meltdown in the real estate market. And there's going to be tons of motivated sellers. So I'm willing to give you all my stuff or almost all my stuff for free. Thanks for watching. Click the like button. Don't take no for an answer. Be your dreams. Peace.